Numbers are the base of how we understand the universe. They are the language we use to measure, count, and understand the world around us. But have you ever stopped to think about where these basic symbols came from? The story of numbers is a captivating journey through time. Our ancestors, long before writing, dealt with the idea of quantity. They needed a way to keep track of their belongings, measure land, and predict the changing seasons. From simple beginnings, marked on cave walls and carved into bones, numbers grew into complex systems. These early systems, often based on tally marks or simple symbols, laid the groundwork for more complex number ideas. The journey of numbers goes beyond cultural and geographical borders, connecting us to the start of civilization. From the busy markets of ancient Babylon to the sacred halls of Greek academies, numbers have played a huge part in shaping human history. They've been super important in scientific discoveries, amazing engineering feats, and even in art. It's pretty amazing how numbers are used everywhere. Across different cultures and times, people have seen how powerful and useful numbers are. Whether we're figuring out how far away a star is or how much food a crop will give us, numbers give us a way to talk about things that everyone understands. They let us share complicated ideas clearly and exactly. Every culture, from the old Sumerians to the Arab thinkers in the Middle Ages, has added their own special part to this rich and always changing story. Looking into where numbers came from isn't just for school. It's a way to celebrate how clever people are and how good we are at coming up with new things. Imagine a time before numbers, a time when our ancestors lived in a world without counting. How did they keep track of the days passing, the growth of their herds, or the exchange of goods? The answer lies in the very essence of human cleverness, observation and thinking things through. Early humans, in tune with nature's rhythms, started to notice patterns and connect them to amounts. Tally marks, carved into cave walls or etched onto bones, acted as a visual way to show quantity. Each mark stood for a single item, whether it was an animal hunted, a fruit picked, or a day that went by. As human societies grew more complex, so did their need for better ways to show and work with numbers. The stage was set for the rise of the first civilizations, and with them, the birth of official number systems. In the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, civilization blossomed. The Sumerians, known for their breakthroughs in writing, farming, and government, also created one of the earliest known number systems. Their system, built on the rules of a base 60 system, set the stage for the math progress of later civilizations. The base 60 system, with its many ways to divide, turned out to be really good for figuring out things about stars and splitting up time. Proof of the Sumerian number system is carved into countless clay tablets, showing how smart they were and how carefully they kept track of things. The Sumerians' legacy keeps shaping how we understand numbers and their huge effect on human civilization. Along the banks of the Nile River, another great civilization rose, one known for its huge buildings, its fancy hieroglyphs, and its smart understanding of math. The ancient Egyptians, needing to manage their big empire and guess when the life-giving Nile floods would happen, came up with a number system that showed how clever they were. The Egyptian system, a base 10 system like ours, used different symbols to show different powers of 10. Their system, mostly used for keeping records, measuring land, and watching the stars, showed how good they were at practical math. Their ability to track the sun and stars, guess the Nile's floods, and build huge structures with amazing accuracy says a lot about how good they were at math. The Egyptians, like the Sumerians before them, left a lasting mark on the story of numbers. As civilizations rose and fell, the torch of mathematical knowledge passed from one culture to another. In the Indian subcontinent, a vibrant intellectual tradition emerged that would make deep contributions to the development of mathematics. Indian mathematicians, driven by a quest for knowledge and a fascination with the cosmos, developed sophisticated systems of numbering and calculation. The Indian number system, which appeared as early as the 3rd century BC, introduced a key innovation: the concept of place value. This revolutionary concept, along with the use of 10 as a base, laid the groundwork for the decimal system we use today. Indian mathematicians excelled in various branches of mathematics, from arithmetic and algebra to geometry and trigonometry. Their work showed a deep appreciation for how math and the natural world are connected. Maybe the biggest gift from Indian mathematicians was the idea of zero. It's a number that means nothing, an empty space, a lack of quantity. Even though the idea of zero might seem easy to us today, coming up with it was a huge step forward in math thinking. Zero, shown by a simple dot or a small circle, made the Indian number system complete. It allowed numbers to be shown clearly and exactly. The invention of zero changed math completely. It helped create algebra and made hard calculations easier. It let mathematicians write big numbers easily, do math problems more efficiently, and come up with new math ideas that would shape the future of the field. The effect of zero went far beyond just math. The idea of zero, which came from the smart minds of Indian mathematicians, became a gift to everyone. The Indian number system, with its elegant simplicity and revolutionary idea of zero, didn't stay only in India. Through trade, conquests, and sharing of ideas, this amazing number system traveled west, reaching the shores of the Arabian Peninsula. Arab scholars, seeing how brilliant the Indian system was, adopted it and helped spread it to the rest of the world. Arab mathematicians, astronomers, and traders saw how useful Indian numbers were. They changed the numbers to fit their own writing, making them look nicer and more standard. These numbers, now called Arabic numerals, spread throughout the Islamic world, becoming the go-to system for trade, science, and everyday math. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad became a hub of learning, where scholars from different backgrounds came together to study, discuss, and push the boundaries of knowledge. As the Roman Republic grew in power, it took in a lot of knowledge from the civilizations it met. Among these smart ideas was the Greeks' deep understanding of math. The Greeks, with their endless curiosity and love for learning just for the sake of it, had turned math into an art form. Their work in geometry, number theory, and logic would be important for hundreds of years, shaping mathematicians for centuries. Pythagoras, a philosopher and mathematician shrouded in mystery, believed that numbers held the key to understanding the universe. His famous theorem, which shows how the sides of a right triangle are related, proved the natural beauty and order of math relationships. Euclid, a mathematician who lived in Alexandria, wrote down the rules of geometry in his great work, Elements, a book that would become the main textbook for geometry for over 2,000 years. The Greeks' smart ideas, passed on by Roman scholars, would continue to inspire mathematicians through the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. While the Greeks embraced abstract mathematics, they also saw how geometry could be used in real life, in areas like building, studying the stars, and engineering. Greek mathematicians came up with clever ways to measure land, build structures with perfect proportions, and even figure out the size of the Earth. One of the most interesting things about Greek math was how they looked at the connection between numbers and shapes. They found that certain numbers, when put in specific patterns, made geometric shapes with special qualities. For example, they noticed that triangular numbers like 1, 3, 6, and 10 could be shown by dots arranged in the shape of triangles. The Greeks' exploration of these fun math facts laid the groundwork for new discoveries in number theory many centuries later. As the Roman Empire grew, so did the need for a useful and effective number system. Roman numerals, while not as fancy or complex as the Greek or Indian systems, worked well for the Romans in their government, building, and everyday lives. Roman numerals, a system that used letters to show numbers, were everywhere in the Roman world. The Roman numerals actually came from the Etruscan civilization, which was in Italy before the Romans. The Romans took the Etruscan system and made the symbols better, giving specific values to each letter. Roman numerals were on coins, monuments, writings, and tons of other old things, showing how much they were used. Even though Roman numerals were good for writing down and showing numbers, they weren't as good for doing complicated math. Despite their problems, Roman numerals kept being used in Europe for hundreds of years after the Roman Empire fell. While Roman numerals were popular in Europe for centuries, a different number revolution was quietly happening in the East. The abacus, a simple but clever counting tool, had been used in different ways in Asia for many centuries. This easy-to-use tool, which has beads on rods inside a frame, let people do complex math problems very quickly and accurately. By moving the beads to show different place values, people could easily add, subtract, multiply, and even divide. Unlike written math, which needed tricky Roman numerals, the abacus gave a hands-on and visual way to show numbers, making it easy for everyone to use. The abacus was super important for trade. Traders, sellers, and tax collectors used this helpful tool to keep track of their money, figure out profits, and make sure deals were fair. The abacus, a sign of how clever people are, helped connect different cultures and made it easier to trade goods and ideas across long distances. As Europe came out of the Middle Ages, a new interest in learning spread across the continent. Among these smart people was Fibonacci, a mathematician who brought Arabic numerals back to Europe. Fibonacci, who came from a family of traders, traveled around the Mediterranean Sea, where he found Arabic numerals. He saw that this system was much better than Roman numerals. In his book, Liber Abaci, Fibonacci pushed for Arabic numerals to be used. The book was not liked at first. Many smart people stuck with Roman numerals. But the useful benefits convinced traders and bankers. Fibonacci's impact went beyond just Arabic numerals. His book also shared math knowledge from the Islamic world. The printing press, numbers for the masses. The 15th century saw a big change in technology that would completely change how we share knowledge. The printing press. Johannes Gutenberg's invention, which used movable type to make printed pages, made information available to everyone. It changed European society and helped new ideas spread faster. The printing press had a huge impact on how Arabic numerals were used. Math books, which used to be copied by hand with a lot of effort, could now be made quickly and correctly. This made them available to more people. The printing press made it easier to have a standard way of writing numbers. This made sure that mathematicians all over Europe used the same symbols and rules. As more and more books about math and algebra were printed, the use of Arabic numerals also grew. Students, merchants, and smart people all liked how simple and good this system was. They started using Roman numerals less and less. The printing press, which helped people share ideas and culture, made sure that Arabic numerals became the main number system in Europe and eventually all over the world. Our journey through the history of numbers has taken us from the simple counting marks of our ancestors to the fancy Arabic numbers we use today. We've seen the start of real number systems in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, amazed by how smart those civilizations were to see the power of numbers. The story of numbers shows how curious people are and our drive to understand the universe. From those first tries to keep track of time and how much stuff people owned, numbers have become a super important tool. Numbers help us share complicated ideas, build huge buildings, and travel through space. The journey of numbers is far from over. As we look deeper into the mysteries of the universe and the tricky parts of the quantum world, we keep making new math tools and ideas. Numbers give us a way to understand the universe. As we stand on the edge of new math frontiers, it's good to remember the work of those who came before us. The mathematicians from old civilizations, often working alone and with few tools, made big discoveries that still shape how we understand numbers today. Their ideas about what numbers are like, how shapes relate to each other, and the power of thinking deeply set the stage for hundreds of years of math progress. The legacy of these old mathematicians isn't just in dusty old books or school papers. It's woven into the very fabric of our daily lives. Every time we use a calculator, look at a map, or marvel at the amazing buildings from the old world, we benefit from the cleverness and hard work of those who came before us. The names of many of these math pioneers are lost to history, but their contributions live on. They remind us that seeking knowledge is a timeless journey that goes beyond cultures and places. By studying the history of math, we get a deeper appreciation for how all human knowledge is connected and the lasting power of human cleverness. Numbers go beyond cultural and language barriers, acting as a universal language that brings us together in our shared human experience. From the busy markets of ancient Babylon to the research labs of the 21st century, numbers give us a common ground for talking, working together, and sharing ideas. They help us get past cultural differences, build on what others have found, and together push the limits of human knowledge. Numbers are universal, and you can see that in how they're used in many different areas of study. Whether we're figuring out genetic code, predicting how diseases spread, or guessing where a rocket will go when it launches, numbers give us a strong tool to understand and work with the world around us. In a world often split by language, culture, and beliefs, numbers offer a way to unite us, reminding us of our shared humanity and our common search for knowledge. They show us how human cleverness can overcome problems, bridge gaps, and build a more connected and smarter world. As we look to the future, the role of numbers in our lives is likely to grow. Advances in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and data analytics are pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve with numbers. The sheer volume of data being generated in the 21st century is astounding. The future of numbers is not simply about processing ever larger datasets. It's about using numbers to tackle challenges like climate change, disease, and poverty. By harnessing the power of mathematics, we can develop more accurate climate models and design more effective vaccines. The journey of numbers is far from over. Numbers will play a central role in understanding the world and solving future challenges. The future of numbers is bright, full of the promise of new discoveries and applications.